Infinite Wealth is a massive RPG that's easily going to run you 50 to 100 hours. I want you to get the most out of your time with this fantastic game, so I've compiled some helpful tips. While Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is a turn-based RPG, your positioning in battle is pretty important, and one of the biggest changes for combat. Whenever it is one of your party members' turns, you have a small blue circle to move around in. For your basic attacks, you get a proximity bonus if you are close to an enemy, and deal extra damage if you hit them in the back. You will also automatically pick up items in the environment for basic attacks, which deal slightly more damage, so long as you're near that item. There are times where you don't want to pick up an item, such as when you're using Beast Mode on Kiryu in order to do a grapple attack. If you end up picking up the item, it'll revert to that item's attack properties and you won't do the grapple, so keep that in mind. For special abilities, some attack in an area while others attack in a line. You can line up these attacks to hit multiple enemies. When you increase your bond levels with other party members, you unlock other bonus attacks based on where you're standing. Early on, you will unlock follow-up attacks, where party members will do a follow-up attack if they are nearby, and you knock an enemy down. Also, you can unlock combo attacks, which can be triggered by doing a basic attack while standing next to a party member. Position yourself right, and you can unleash a devastating domino effect of pain. Being a turn-based RPG, you might be asking yourself, how much grinding do I need to do in Infinite Wealth? The answer is some, particularly if you are the kind of person that avoids lots of confrontations on the street. The good thing is the game lets you know what level you need to be at before a major series of fights and bosses. For example, at the end of Chapter 4, you should be level 13 with 2-star equipment, end of Chapter 6 is level 24 with 3-star equipment, end of Chapter 7 is level 26 with 3-star equipment, by the end of Chapter 8 you'll want to be at level 30 or higher, and at the end of Chapter 11 you'll want to be at 35 with 5-star equipment, etc, etc. So long as you keep on top of these level checks, you'll be fine. If you do need to grind, the Hawaiian Labyrinth unlocked in Chapter 5 is the best way. Called the Hawaiian Haunt, this optional dungeon is split into multiple sectors, which each have their own recommended level. Every sector has 10 floors, with a mini-boss on the 5th floor and a boss on the 10th floor. Keep in mind that if you leave the dungeon, you'll need to start over from the beginning unless you reach the checkpoint at level 5. Not only do you get a bunch of XP from fighting enemies down here, it's also a great place to earn money and find materials. There are a ton of crafting materials throughout the dungeon, along with chests that typically have high-rank armor or weapons. You'll also be tasked with saving lost souls. There are 5 per sector, and you'll need to save all of them for progression in the dungeon's story, so to speak. So make sure to explore every floor thoroughly. Not only is there a lot to gain from running the dungeon itself, there is also a point system where you find robo-discs, which can be exchanged for a large variety of items. The items include a ton of high-rarity crafting materials, which can really only be found randomly otherwise. This makes it much easier to craft better weapons without having to hope you get lucky with enemy drops. Speaking of crafting materials, there are 2 types of weapon upgrade materials. The kind that can make new weapons, and the kind that can increase a weapon's level. Basically, anything listed as iron in its many forms is for increasing a weapon's level, and anything that has an element, like lava, electricity, etc., is for creating new weapons. Typically, creating a new weapon requires a base weapon and some materials, adding a new element to your attacks. Upgrading a weapon increases the base damage, both magical and physical. While your impulse might be to hoard materials for better weapons, you don't need to do this. In terms of crafting materials, there are multiple tiers of quality, and you can't combine lower quality materials into higher ones, so you won't have much use for them if you hold on to them. The weapon grade materials also go up in quality, but that just impacts the amount of XP given. However, you can scrap a weapon to get upgrade materials, and the higher its level, the more you get back. It's not an exact 1-to-1 ratio, but you can get more than enough back that you shouldn't sweat using the materials to upgrade a weapon you will probably end up replacing. While Ichiban might have a wealth of powerful allies at his side, he doesn't have a wealth of resources. Luckily, Hawaii is covered in resources and items you can scrounge up. Collecting trash and miscellaneous items while exploring will give you a wealth of resources to use, and there is typically always something worth collecting. There are a variety of different places you can find items, with each kind offering something different. Shiny spots on the ground are typically resources like herbs. Metal cases are usable items or equipment. Dumpsters contain weapons or upgrade materials. Bushes and trees have cooking items. And newsstands contain magazines, which give job XP. All of these items spawn randomly and respawn over time. But there are also safes you can find. which will require 1 key for silver safes and 3 keys for gold safes, which do not respawn. While the cooking mechanic in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth isn't particularly deep, it does give you some high quality healing items. Cooking can be done in certain locations marked by the green blender icon on the map, with the first one located in the eastern end of the beach in Hawaii. You can take herbs you find in bushes, fruit you find in trees, and seaweed you find in sand piles on the beach and create high quality items. These items typically refill a large amount of health or MP and always do so for the entire party, making them extremely valuable. Fruit dishes restore health, herb tea restores MP, and seaweed-based dishes restore both. One of the places you can cook at is Revolve Bar, a place that acts as Ichiban & Co.'s base of operations in Hawaii. It is here that you can have drink links with your friends. Drink links are small story moments you can have with your party members every 10 bond levels, all the way up to level 50. You get a small amount of backstory for your party member, which on their own is genuinely worth doing, but there are also gameplay benefits. As we mentioned earlier, each drink link you complete gives a new combo bonus, unlocking follow-up attacks, tag team attacks, and combo attacks, or increases the frequency/damage of the ability. Completing all drink links will also unlock additional costumes for that party member. Keep in mind that some drink links are locked behind story progress. The best way to get up your bond level with party members for the drink links is the Bond Bingo, which is a set of small conversations you can have with your party members. These can be found all throughout Hawaii, marked on the map by a small pink ticket with a heart on it. You don't have to do anything besides press a button to start the conversation, but the rewards are massive. You get a small boost to your bond level for each conversation, but there is also a board of all the potential conversations, with each party member having their own board. When you get 4 in a row in any direction, like in Bingo, you get a bonus boost to that bond level. We also mentioned that bond levels are needed to access the drink links, but they are also needed to unlock certain jobs. While running about filling out your bond bingo card, you should also make friends with various NPCs for Aloha Links, a Hawaii-only social media app. You can make friends with most people by pressing a button to wave at them. Some NPCs will require you to give them an item, typically food, to improve your relationship, and some will need to be saved by attackers. There are also a few shop owners that can be befriended by buying their goods. The reason you want to do this is you'll get a boost to Ichiban's social stats for making friends. The first level, which can be achieved the first time you interact, gets 5 points to a random stat. The second level, which occurs after 2 or 3 additional interactions, gets 10 points. Some side stories and unlocking new jobs are locked behind social stat requirements, so boosting these are important. While doing side activities is pretty core to most RPG experiences, they can be especially rewarding in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Despite the main story feeling incredibly time-sensitive and pressuring at moments, there is never a bad time to explore the town and do some other content. Side stories can award a variety of different things, including new pound mates, which are summons that can help you in combat, special gear, or even large amounts of money. In addition to that, many of the side stories are quite compelling and occasionally funny. And let's not forget all the little mini-games and side activity. The big ones like Dondoku Island and Sujimon are massive, so saving them for the endgame probably isn't that smart. Especially Dondoku Island if you're interested in making a lot of money, which we detailed in a separate video. Thanks for watching everyone, and enjoy your Hawaiian vacation.